Joining us now to discuss is the founder of the Article 3 Project, Mike Davis. Mike, good to see you again. Never a dull moment. We learn more by the day. And look, this isn't very surprising given that two IRS agents showed up at Matt Taibbi's door on the very day that he was supposed to testify before Congress, or was testifying before Congress. That got brought up in a committee hearing against the IRS director this week that really had no answer for it. So let's look at this Hunter Biden situation. Will Congress grant this IRS supervisor whistleblower status so that we can learn more and get, maybe some accountability on this?
They absolutely should. And if they can't, if this whistleblower can't get the House Republicans to figure this out, I suggest he walk over to Senator Grassley's office, my former boss, who's the king of oversight, and his oversight staff can help him through the process, because there's no question this IRS whistleblower should be protected if he's going to blow the whistle on the Biden Justice Department covering up for President Biden, his sleazebag son Hunter, and probably many other members of Joe Biden's family.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a second really bad look this week for the IRS director and the IRS overall, especially, as I just said, with the Taibbi situation. So what can we expect, or what should we expect Congress to do in the fact of this partisanship behavior by the Internal Revenue Service?
Well, I mean, they're working. Here's the problem is you have the Internal Revenue Service, which is part of Biden's Department of Treasury, working hand in glove with Biden's Justice Department, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and they're weaponizing the IRS to go after Biden's political enemies, and they're protecting Biden's family, and that's just not acceptable. Attorney General Merrick Garland, I don't know how he has not appointed a special counsel to look into Hunter Biden's IRS issue. It's just, it's baffling to me. And there's reporting that the U.S. attorney up in Delaware does not have the power that he needs to investigate this IRS issue with Hunter Biden, potentially, probably President Biden himself, because political appointees within the Biden Justice Department are blocking him. So he needs to be named a special counsel, so he doesn't have to get permission slips from political appointees within the Biden Justice Department to do his job.
I have to ask you, Mike, because you have lots of experience on the Hill and in D.C. in general, and you're very bold. You're not one to shy away from what needs to be done. The frustration I hear from a lot of American people is when we hear about the protection of the Biden family, the targeting, though, of Republicans or conservatives, and then we have a Republican majority in Congress. People ask, well, why is nothing being done? What can be done to put a stop to this, clear partisan DOJ, this clear partisanship in the federal bureaucracy? Is there just nothing that can be done? Is there nothing that Congress can do?
No, that's not the case at all. You're seeing House Oversight Chairman James Comer doing fantastic work, hauling people into Congress and for hearings, for depositions, for staff depositions, for a subpoena for documents. That is important oversight. House Judiciary Committee Chairman got off to a bit of a bumpy start, but he's really firing on all cylinders. What I would say to House Republicans is ramp up the oversight effort exponentially. Start having these staff depositions every week, start having hearings every week, drag people in front of the cameras and the bright lights, put them in a chair, and make them answer to the American people. And I would also say to the appropriators in the House, use the power of the purse. House Republicans have a very powerful weapon, and that is we can put appropriation writers on appropriations bills saying that the executive branch can or cannot spend money in certain ways. They need to start doing that. So aggressive oversight, make it even more aggressive, and then appropriation writers to hold the executive branch accountable. But to your larger point, elections have consequences. This is why you have to win the House, you need to win the Senate, and you need to win the White House. You get to appoint the judges, and you get the power to do things.
I think the appropriations process is something that more Americans will be watching with a magnifying glass, whereas it's just sort of went on its way before, because people understand now that that's the power that they have. So we'll be watching that very closely. I do want to turn to something else, though, while we have you here, Mike. A U.S. district judge has sided with House Republicans, speaking of a win, in regards to a deposition issued for former prosecutor Mark Pomerantz. Alvin Bragg tried to stop this deposition, which is supposed to be scheduled for today, but could be potentially delayed because of everything going on. Judge Mary Kay used Bragg's own words when saying the subpoena was issued with a valid legislative purpose in connection with the broad and indispensable congressional power to conduct investigations. Mr. Pomerantz must appear for the congressional deposition. No one is above the law. The judge went on to call out Bragg by ripping his 50-page lawsuit by saying, quote, the first 35 pages of the complaint have little to do with the subpoena at issue and are nothing short of a public relations tirade against the former president and current presidential candidate Donald Trump. Now, I'm a little surprised. Are you surprised at this judge slamming Bragg in such a big way, even using the Democrats' own favorite slogan, no one is above the law?
Well, this district court judge in New York is exactly right. What people are saying that she's a Trump judge. She was actually approved by Schumer and Gillibrand for the district court during the Trump administration. She was confirmed by the Judiciary Committee. She was recommended by the Judiciary Committee 20-1. The only one who voted against her is Kamala Harris because she's a moron. And then this judge was confirmed by the full Senate 91-3. But I will tell you this, Emerald, there was a Biden-appointed judge that on the Second Circuit somehow just single-handedly stayed this order. This partisan judge on the Second Circuit, Beth Robinson, just put out an order staying the district court judge's order pending appeal, which is it's bizarre. So that's interesting. It looks like they're gonna this is going to be resolved by the Second Circuit Court of Appeals hopefully next week. So the deposition it appears to be delayed by this partisan Democrat new Biden judge who got confirmed essentially along party lines, who swooped in at the last minute last night and came up with this lawless reason to stop this deposition today.
Yeah, lawlessness. But it is encouraging to see that district court judge be on the side of the law. And it goes back to your larger point about what Republicans can do, right? If they keep pushing for oversight, they keep pushing, sometimes you'll get a judge like that. And then hopefully Mr. Pomerantz will actually have to come and answer to Congress. Mike Davis, thank you so much.